I'm about to show you how to rename your PlayStation Network Online ID using a PS5 system. That's the ID that appears within online games and when you message someone using the PS5. And just FYI, you can only change your ID once for free. Each time you do it after that, you'll get charged a fee by Sony. Doing this name change can cause issues, and I'm going to talk about those issues later on in this video. If you want to watch that part first, skip to this timestamp. So here's how to change the ID. From the PlayStation dashboard, I'm going to select my little profile avatar in the top right corner. I'm going to select Profile. Then I'm going to select the little pencil icon here. The first thing on this list that I can change is the name. That is not the ID that we're talking about today. Instead, we want to select Online ID. It's going to give us some warnings. And like I said, I'm going to go over those in the second half of this video. For now, I will accept. There's some more warnings. I'll click Continue. I'm going to enter the email and password that's connected to my PlayStation Network account and click OK. Now is where I specify the new ID. It can't be one that's already in use by somebody else. I can only use letters, numbers, dashes, and underscores. As mentioned before, the first time you change your ID, it's free. But each time after that, you're charged a fee. At this time, it's $9.99. If this account has PlayStation Plus, it might be less than that. A lot of people ask, is there any way to skip this fee? As far as I know, there's no way of getting around it. When I click Done on this keyboard screen, it'll run a check to see if the ID is already being used, and if it is, it'll have me specify a different one. This new one I'm selecting here is not in use, so now I can click Confirm. Here I have the option of displaying the old name in parentheses next to the new one for 30 days. That way my friends won't get caught off guard when they see a new name on their friends list. It's already defaulted to that option, so I'm just going to leave it as is and select Confirm and sign out. It'll think for a few seconds, then ask for my email and password again. I enter that and select Sign In. Here it gives me the option of adding a 4-digit passcode to my profile. I'll go ahead and leave it as is and select OK. It has dumped me back out to the profile screen. If I back out of screen and take a look at my profile name, it shows the new name and it also shows the old name in parentheses since I selected that as my option. I will now go over the possible issues that may happen if you change your network ID. First of all, if you do change it and you notice an issue, you can contact Sony and have the old name restored. They will do that for free. One issue you may notice is the new name isn't appearing within certain games. Sony says it can take some time for the new name to start showing up in certain places. They say it may take up to a week. They also say that exiting the game and going back into it a few times may help speed that process up. Sony has also said that all PS5 titles are expected to function normally after making the ID change. They also said that PS4 games that are published after April 1st, 2018 are expected to work as normal after making the change. I don't know why they chose April 1st. It makes it seem like a joke, but it's not. As for the PS4 games that were published before that date, Sony has tested many of them to see how the change affects them. The list of games in front of you right now were found to have no issues. Again, these are PS4 games. Feel free to pause this video and look at this list, and I'll also put a link to this list in the description. Now here's a different list of PS4 games where Sony found some issues, but it classified them as non-critical. In these games, the old ID may remain the same forever, or your ID may disappear altogether in certain areas of the game, such as leaderboards. They also said that with these games that, quote, user accounts on PlayStation may be unlinked from game accounts. Linking accounts again may restore the original linkage. Another thing that can happen with these games is that some settings may revert back to their default settings. If this happens, they said that you might want to sign out and sign back in again, and that might bring the settings back to what you had them at. And now for the final list of PS4 games. And these are the ones that Sony has found critical issues that can happen if you change your ID. For these, you could lose in-game currency, game progress, trophy progress, and user-generated content. They also said that some of these games may not function properly at all, both offline and online. But what about PS3 and Vita games? Sony says that those games and the apps that are on them do not support the ability to change your ID. Apparently, they didn't even test it on those devices. They say that such games could suffer from many of the things I just mentioned, including loss of progress, loss of content, and loss of functionality. If you are worried about one game in particular, I advise you do an internet search to see if changing your ID affects your particular game. If a lot of people play that game, someone by now should have said something about it and posted it on Reddit or somewhere. So that's all I had to cover on this subject. Have a good day, everybody.